Hey everyone, this is Kelly Kahoot, and I am back with another video for Honeybee Stamps. Today doing something a little bit different for me. I am going to try my hand at envelope art. So I have created an envelope with the envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. And if you have one of those, you'll know that it has all the measurements for whatever size of envelope you want. And I'm going to use that cute little Penny the Platypus in her little envelope. And I have set her up, making sure that I leave room for the address and the stamps. I'm going to put that in my mini MISTI, and she doesn't fit perfectly, or that envelope doesn't, but that's okay. I am going to use that anyway and just let it kind of stick out the side there. And I'm going to stamp cute little Penny, and then while I have that in there, I'm going to stamp on some masking paper. I didn't need to ink it up again, but you can use the ink that was left over. I'm going to fussy cut her, and I stamped the envelope as well because at this point I didn't know if I would need it later on. I didn't end up using it, but that's okay. I'm going to fussy cut this, and I'm going to cut right on that black line. And I had to do a little bit of fancy cutting because to mask off and be able to place that envelope right in her little flippers, I needed to mask just the flippers but not her belly. So I have cut that little mask, the Penny the Platypus, into 3 different pieces so I could stamp that envelope right there into her little flippers. And then I'm going to peel this up so you can see what it looks like, and I wanted to make sure that everything looked okay. So I peeled that up and give it a look, and it turned out perfect. You can see that right there in her little flippers. And then I'm going to put that mask of her flippers right back down and then add the masking for the rest of her body, because I am going to do some ink blending for just a little bit of a background all around her. I use Twisted Citron Distress Oxide ink, and I'm making the ink a lot more heavy to the left side of that card where Penny is sitting, and then kind of fading off as it goes toward the right. To add a little bit more green, I pulled in just a little bit of Lucky Clover and then went back over with the Twisted Citron again to kind of blend it together. I'm going to do the sky, and that is Broken China Distress Oxide ink. And again, I'm making it darker around her little body and over toward the left. And as you can see there, I'm being really careful not to ink over that little triangle part where her belly was cut out, because I don't want that to be blue. So I was careful to go around the edges and not to go over the top of her body with my ink blending tool. Now I'm going to do some simple coloring with the Chameleon pencils, and I'm going to let the music play for just a minute. Now I am using the Lettermate envelope address guide. that's a mouthful, because I can't write in a straight line and keep it all nice and neat. So I use this to help me, and I just penciled in those lines, and now I'm penciling in the name and address, and this is the name and address of the Honeybee Stamps owner, Melissa, and this is the business address, so no worries on you know, anyone getting her home address. But like I said, I do not have the greatest handwriting. I just do the best I can. It's not, you know, calligraphy or anything like that, so I penciled it on and just went over it with a nice crisp black marker. I'm taking a eraser and going over and erasing all the pencil lines. And then I'm going to take the Good Day Mate from the Cheerful Sentiment set. This set was released at the same time as Penny the Platypus. I'm going to curve that around on an acrylic block and stamp it in some VersaFine black Onyx ink. Now when I stamped this, because I was too lazy to put it in my MISTI and kind of curve it around and stuff, it didn't stamp very well. The top of the letters didn't take the ink well. It didn't lay the ink onto the paper. So I'm just going to take that black marker again and go over that, and then nobody will ever know. Now the front of the card is all done. I'm going to use that envelope punch board to round the corners. You could leave those straight. You could also look up the dimensions for envelopes online and just make your own, cut and make your own if you don't have the envelope punch board. That punch board just makes it easy peasy. So I added my return address on the back of the card, and now I have a growing kind of vintage stamp collection. You can find these on Etsy or Etsy, I don't know how to pronounce that, but the ETSY, and just look up vintage stamps, and you have to find the ones that haven't been circulated. So I have a ton, and so I'm going through to try to find what would work best. I have some with dogs, birds, some from different states. Like this one, I'm from Oklahoma, and I love to send my family that's back in Oklahoma stamps with things from our state. There's love theme, birds, dogs. I love dogs and animals, so I have lots of animals, florals. I just have tons and tons. So I'm going through those to try to find what I think would fit best. I ended up finding some that have a little envelope, just like Penny, and I'm going to use those on the front there. So you can use these uncirculated stamps just as long as they add up to the amount of a stamp or what you need for postage. So yeah, and it's super fun. I love, adding these all up and using different colors and ones from different years, but it's super fun. Here's one last look at little Penny with her happy mail, and I hope you've enjoyed this. All the supplies can be found at honeybeestamps.com, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye!